War for the kingdom of Yah. All praises, Shalom, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. To the house of Israel, thank you, everybody, for joining us. No matter where you are, whether you are physically here or elsewhere, or looking at this on YouTube, wherever you may be. So all praises to the Most High, and thank you for joining us. We're going to get right into it. Okay. If you don't know already what the title of today's lesson is, it is The Fall and the Rise of Men. The Fall and the Rise of Men. Right, so real quick, we got a lot of scriptures to cover today, so we're going to get right into it. Deke, are you ready?
All right.
Get your pen and your papers again. However you take your notes, take detailed notes, as we're going to get right into it. Deuteronomy, the 11th chapter and the 21st verse. Deuteronomy, 11th chapter and 21st verse.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 21. That your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children in the land which the master sware to your fathers to give them as the days of heaven upon the earth.
As the days of heaven, upon the earth. Now, this is stating that heaven was once. It felt like heaven once upon the earth. Now, this is in Deuteronomy. This is not those 70 golden years of King David and Solomon, where Israel had peace from their enemies and they were no longer at war and things like that. This talk is stating something else. As the days of heaven upon the earth. On the earth, it used to feel like heaven. Stating something else. Let's go to Lamentations. Let's go to Lamentations chapter 2, verse 1. Y'all bear with me. I want to get through it. I'm going to systematically walk you through it so we can gain a great understanding on what happened in the fall and how men are to raise themselves back up again. Lamentations 2 and 1.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 1. How have Yah covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger and cast down from heaven?
He cast down from heaven. Now this is a double wisdom, and this is a similitude as well. A dark saying with a double wisdom. Read it again.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Come on.
How have the master covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger and cast down from heaven into the earth the beauty of Israel, but not his footstool in the day of his anger.
So the beauty of Israel has been cast down to the earth, because once the Israel being the sons of the Most High, Israel once was in a beautiful position. As the days of heaven upon the earth, Israel was cast down into the earth because Israel fell. Let's get Luke 21 and 24. Let's get a physical falling. This right here is more of a spiritual thing. But we're talking about the days of heaven upon the earth. The casting down from heaven upon the earth is the beauty of it. That's more of a spiritual thing. Let's get more of a physical fall. Luke 21 and 24, because they both go hand in hand. Luke 21 and 24.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And they shall do what?
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
So this is a physical fall, metaphorically speaking. This is a physical fall, metaphorically speaking. And they shall fall by the sword. Come on. Edge of the sword.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
And we did. We were led away captives into all nations, into slavery. Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles
Mm-hmm.
until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
We're in that time now. The Gentiles is in our land. They're over our land. All right, let's get into it. Go to 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter. 2nd Ezra. Y'all bear with me. 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, and the 11th. So begin at the 11th verse. I'm going to go 11, 12, 13.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 11. Because for their sakes I made the world.
Talking about the children of Israel, just like we said in Deuteronomy, heaven being on earth, just like we said in Lamentations, Israel fell, the beauty of Israel fell from heaven. Now we're talking about Israel again in 2nd Ezra 7 and 11. Because for their sakes, the children of Israel's sakes, I made the world. Come on.
And when Adam transgressed my statutes,
Mm-hmm.
then was decreed that now is done.
What we go through now, how life is now, was the decree, was the edict, was the law. Come on.
Then were the then were the entrances of these world made narrow.
Of this world, it was made narrow. The entrance of this world was made narrow. So something different happened when Adam transgressed. For the whole entirety of the world, something different happened when Adam sinned. Come on.
Full of sorrow and travail.
Mm-hmm.
They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful.
That wasn't going on before Adam transgressed. The world wasn't in that state. But after Adam transgressed, the world was full of sorrow and travail and evil and full of pearls and very, very painful. Verse 13.
Verse 13. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure,
Mm-hmm.
and brought immortal fruit.
So there was another world. The entrance of an elder world. There was an older world before the current world that we are living in. So there was a wider world that was more sure and true and brought immortal fruit. So there was a major difference between that world and this one. Now, let's go to Genesis. Let's go to Genesis. Because I believe that because we have so many Bible stories, so many movies about the Bible, so many videos in time past that has came out about what happened during the time of Adam and Eve, Bible stories, that people tend to think that a lot of folks make stuff up and they don't come out of the scriptures when in terms of what really happened. So we're going to go to the Bible and discover what really happened. Let's go to Genesis 3 and 17.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife,
Mm-hmm.
and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake.
Curse, now that pay attention to that. Curse is the ground for thy sake. Curse is the ground for thy sake. Because of you, I'm cursing the ground. Come on.
Sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
Because of you, the ground is cursed, and it is not going to easily yield itself over to you as in the elder world. This new realm that you're gonna have to work to get to dig for what you want that's in there. Verse 18.
Verse 18. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field.
You're gonna eat the herb of the field, meaning you're gonna have to plant what you want. It just ain't gonna just sprout and grow, and you just pluck it. You have to work for it. Come on.
Verse 19. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground.
Till you return to where?
Till thou return until the ground.
Didn't he just curse the ground? You're going to return back to what now I have cursed. Let's pay attention. You're going to return back to what now I have cursed, because before you was on uncursed ground. You came out of the ground that was not cursed, but because of your transgression, because of your fall, now you're going to return back to what now I have just cursed. You're going to return to the ground. Come on.
For out of it was thou taken. For thus thou art, and to dust shalt thou return.
You're going to return to the original place that I created you from. Pay attention to what I'm saying, the words that I'm using. You're going to return back to the original place. You're going to return back to the original place that I created you from. Because once he blew the breath of life into Adam, he gave him wisdom, knowledge, power, and understanding. He took Adam to a higher level. Not only did he take him to a higher level spiritually, but Adam lived in a higher atmosphere. He lived on a higher plane. Let's not get ahead of myself. Let's go to Genesis. Now we're going to go back. Genesis, the second chapter of Genesis, start at verse 4.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2. You said chapter 2?
Yes, chapter 2, verse 4.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created.
When they were created. See, there was a multiplicity of men created upon the earth. There wasn't just one man, Adam, on the earth, and one woman, Eve, was his wife. There was a multiplicity. There was generations of people, all created systematically at the same time. Millions of people, perhaps, created at the same time. You take that word generation, the root word of generation is gene or genealogy. It was genealogy, various people with various DNAs that were created, various nations that were created upon the earth at the same time. Read it again.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth.
Come on.
When they were created.
Well, these are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. Come on.
In the day that Yah, the power, made the earth and the heavens.
When he made when we go to Genesis 1 and you get a breakdown, you go to 1 and 26, 1 and 27, it tells you right there, he made man a multiplicity, just like he made a multiplicity of fish, a multiplicity of frogs, a multiplicity of birds, a multiplicity of cattle, just like he made different types of cattle, sheep and goat and cows and and so on and so forth. He made a multiplicity of people too. Of people too. Verse 5.
Verse 5. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and every herb of the field before it grew. For Yahweh, the power, had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground.
Come on.
Verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh, the power, formed man of the dust of the ground.
This is talking about, now we're getting specific. This is talking about Adam specifically, not those conglomerate of people, but only Adam. He's being specific now. The Almighty formed the man from the dust of the ground, talking about Adam. Come on.
And breathed into his nostril the breath of life.
Mm-hmm.
And man became a living soul.
And man became a living soul, meaning he breathed the breath of life of him in him. He breathed his set apart spirit in him. And Adam became that mighty one upon the earth that had wisdom, knowledge, power, understanding. He had now just become Yah's son, the most high son, the son of the living Yah. Verse 8.
Verse 8. And Yahweh, the power, planted a garden eastward in Eden.
So let's read that again. Let's read that again. Verse 8.
Verse 8. And Yahweh, the power, planted a garden eastward in Eden.
He planted a garden eastward in Eden, meaning it wasn't there before. He planted it there after he blew knowledge, power, wisdom, and understanding in the spirit of Adam. After Adam got a new spirit, now the Yahweh, the power, planted a new plane on the earth. This is something different. It ain't what we looking at now. It's different. He took the man. Oh, we didn't finish that verse, did we?
Nope.
Let's finish that verse. Let's read it again. Finish that verse.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh, the power, planted a garden eastward in Eden.
Come on.
And there he put the man whom he had formed.
Whom he had formed. He took the man who he had formed from one level into a higher level, a higher plane. He took that man and placed him in a wider world, or what the scripture refers to as the elder world, with immortal fruit. Because paradise, the garden, was before the earth. I'm gonna say it again. Paradise, the garden, was created before the earth was created, but it was in a different atmospheric plane. It was different on a whole nother level. Verse 9. Let's go to verse 9. I'm proving everything I'm saying. Verse 9.
Verse 9. And out of the ground made Yahweh the power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
All right, so let's go back to the fall now. Let's go back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and start at verse 20. Let's go back to the fall.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam called his wives, named Eve, because she was the mother of all living.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
Unto Adam also, and to his wife, did Yahweh, the power, make coast of skin, Salaki, make coats of skins and clothe them.
Now, these coats of skin, this is also a metaphor because these coats of skin was just meaning he had covered their sin. He covered their sin. They sinned. They were disobedient. They sacrificed. He covered their sin. Verse 22.
Verse 22. And Yahweh, the power, said, behold, the man has become as one of us.
Now that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to say. Behold, this man has become as one of us. Look, the man has become as one of us. That's an interesting statement. Read on.
To know good and evil.
Watch this.
And now, lest he put forth his hand.
Come on.
And take also of the tree of life.
Uh-huh.
And eat and live forever.
Now, we've heard this before. Later on in the Bible, we heard the same sentiments before. We heard this before. Let's hold Genesis and get Revelations 21. He's going to take hold of the tree of life and live forever. Huh? Let's see here. What you mean? You're going to live forever if you take hold of the tree of life. Revelations 21 and 4.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 21 and verse 4.
Come on.
And Yah shall swipe away all the tears, Salaki. And Yah shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
Uh-huh.
And there shall be no more death.
There's not going to be any more death. Come on.
Neither sorrow.
Come on.
Nor crying.
Uh-huh.
Neither shall there be any more pain.
Come on.
For the former things are passed away.
For the former things are passed away, meaning that place where we was, that's gone. Because there's a new heaven and a new earth. The place where we were in, the place in which we live with much travail, where the world was narrow, where it was full of pain and sorrow, that's passed away. And now, because that's the former things. And now we in a new atmosphere, a new plane. Go to verse 6.
Verse 6. And he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely.
Freely. I would give unto him because we don't, before we were in the garden, they said, hey, put him out because he don't have a right to the tree of life. I want y'all to think about what I'm saying. He no longer have a right to the tree of life because he disobeyed my commandment. Go to Revelations 22 and 14. Go to Revelations 22 and 14.
The book of Revelations, chapter 22, and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Come on.
That they may have right to the tree of life.
Now they have a right to the tree of life that obeyed my commands. Come on.
And may enter in through the gates into the city.
They may enter into the gates of the city. The city is called the new Garden of Eden, paradise. We're going to see it. We're going to see it a little bit later in scripture. Let's go back to Genesis 3 and 23. Genesis 3 and 23.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 23.
Come on.
Therefore, Yahweh, the power, sent him forth from the Garden of Eden.
He kicked them out of the Garden of Eden. Come on.
To till the ground from whence he was taken.
Now that ground has been cursed. Remember? Cursed is the ground that I took you from because he wasn't created in the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden was brought down to him and he was placed in it. Verse 24.
Verse 24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
To keep the way to the tree of life. The tree of life had to be protected because man has lost his ever-loving mind. So let's see what the cherubims are and the flaming sword. Let's see what that is. Let's get examples of what the Bible says they are. Let's get First Chronicles 21 and 16. First Chronicles 21 and 16.
This is the book of First Chronicles, chapter 21 and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
And David lifted up his eyes and saw the angel of Yah stand between the earth and the heaven.
He was standing where?
Between the earth and the heaven.
He was standing between the earth and the heaven. The angel was. Cherubims are angels. And this particular angel was standing between the earth and the heavens. Between the earth, that's interesting. Between the earth and the heavens. Read on.
Having a drawn sword in his hand.
Having a drawn sword in his hand.
Stretched out all over Jerusalem.
And he was stretched out all over Jerusalem. Come on.
Then David and the elders of Israel, who were clothed in sackcloth, fell upon their faces.
So cherubims are angels. This particular angel had a drawn sword over Jerusalem. Let's see now what Brother Paul calls him. Hebrews 1 and 7. Let's go to Hebrews 1 and 7.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 1 and verse 7. And of the angels he said, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire.
A flame of fire. So cherubims and a flaming fiery sword, which turned every which way, meaning these angels protected and kept the way where mankind could not get back to the tree of life. We are all actors in the Most High's play. We are all actors playing out just what he wants. He said, I'm going to keep them back because I have things that I want to see happen upon earth. These cherubims are ministering flames of fire that protected the tree of life, meaning to keep mankind back, to keep them away from going further and further and deeper into divination and evil. Let's get Revelations 2 and 7. Revelations 2 and 7. Let's get one more on that. 2 and 7. Revelations 2 and 7.
It's like you said, Revelations 2 and 7.
Yep, Revelations 2 and 7.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 7.
He just didn't know about
He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
Come on.
To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will give him to eat of the tree of life. For him that overcomes, for him that obey, will I give him to eat of the tree of life. Come on.
Which is in the midst of the paradise of Yah.
So it is in the midst of the paradise of the Most High Yah. So the garden in the beginning was the paradise of Yah. And we will see the paradise of Yah again. The same paradise that the first Adam was in, the Garden of Eden, or the garden paradise in Eden. That first Adam was expelled from that garden. And the second Adam, Yahushua, the Messiah, the second Adam, he is going to rule from that garden or from that paradise. You understand what I'm saying? The first Adam fell. The first Adam fell, and all men have fallen with him. The second Adam is resurrected and rising and is resurrecting men with him and leading us back to the paradise of Yah. Let's get 2 Ezra 3. 2 Ezra chapter 3, verse 21.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 3, and verse 21. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed
Mm-hmm.
and was overcome. And so be all they that are born of him.
So everybody that come out of the first Adam, which is everybody on the planet, came out of the first Adam. Everybody on the planet came out of the first Adam. He transgressed, he had a wicked heart, and was overcame by the devil. So be all they that are born of him. Everybody that come out of him have a wicked heart, is bearing a wicked heart, and is born into transgression. He put us in that position with his fault. Verse 22.
Verse 22. Thus, infirmity was made permanent.
Read it again.
Thus, infirmity was made permanent.
Weakness. Infirmity is weakness. Thus, the weakness of mankind was made permanent. Come on.
And the law also in the heart of the people.
Come on.
With the malignity
Mm-hmm.
of the root.
With the malignity of the root. Come on.
So that the good departed away.
The good departed away. Come on.
And the evil abode still.
You're just born to be evil. You're just no good. The malignity of root, the evil malignity of the root took place in all of mankind. When Adam fell, brothers and sisters, it devastated the entirety of the world. All the generations of heaven that we read about in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, all of mankind that was created, it devastated everybody because the spirit of the spirit, when Adam fell, the spirit of the Most High was taken from mankind, and everybody spiritually died at the same time. Nobody could feel Yah nowhere. He had left the building.
Nah.
It devastated the world. Say again?
Nah, he ain't leave the building.
He left the building. Nowhere to be found, D. Nowhere to be found. All of mankind was devastated. There was no good found anywhere in the world. He left. It was catastrophic. The spiritual death was catastrophic. Remember how men were living to be 900, 800, 600 years old? All of that stopped. All of that stopped. Men just started to live shorter lifespans. You had the wisdom and understanding of Yah right in the midst of it. Men become stupider, more foolish, more hateful. It was devastating. We still in that state now. Just think about every generation gets sicker and sicker. Think about it. Every generation get wickeder and wickeder and wickeder. I think the old folks always say, "Ooh, this generation is terrible. It's getting worse." Let's go to Second Ezra 3 and 7. We was at what verse was we on? That was 22, wasn't it? Second Ezra 3
God,
and
God,
22.
God.
Go up to verse 4.
This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 3 and verse 4. O Yah, who bears rule? Thou spakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandedst the people,
Mm-hmm. Read.
and gave us a body unto Adam
Come
without
on.
sorrow.
You created Adam first, but you didn't give him wisdom, understanding. You didn't breathe the breath of life into him as of yet. Come on.
Which was the workmanship of thine hands,
Come on.
and didst breathe into him the breath of life.
Then you gave him the understanding and wisdom. Come on.
And he was made living before thee,
And he was made living before thee. Read.
and thou leddest him into paradise.
And you led Adam after you gave him knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the power, and made him Lord of the world. You led him to paradise, which is the garden. Come on.
Which thy right hand had planted,
Which Yahweh Shai, the spirit of Yahweh Shai, had already made before the earth was created. Come on.
before ever the earth came forward.
Before ever the earth came forward. Because paradise was created first. The Most High planted it east of Eden. Paradise, or the garden, the Garden of Eden is what we call it, is the elder world before the earth came forward. Paradise is something else different from the earth. Uh-oh. Bishop, what you talking about? I said again, paradise is something different than the earth. Let's go to verse 7.
Verse 7. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. Let their names be put out of the earth. For they have
No, where you at? What verse you at? What verse you at? Second Ezra 3 and 7.
Oh no, I was at 2 and 7. Okay. Second Ezra chapter 3, verse 7.
Come on.
And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way,
Come on.
which he transgressed. And immediately thou appointest death in him.
You appointed death in Adam. You appointed death in Adam after he transgressed your way. You immediately appointed death in him. Come on.
And in his generations,
And his generations, meaning all mankind that was with him. All mankind that was with him, everybody on the earth at that time was appointed death, and everybody that would be born from Adam, everybody that would be born from Adam, you appointed death, got a sentence of death right then and there, and would be born without your spirit. Come on.
of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number.
Out of every number, out of billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of people was appointed death, spiritually dead. at birth. Verse 8.
Verse 8. And every people walked after their own will
Come on.
and did wonderful things before thee and despised thy commandments.
The malignity, the evil that was in the heart of mankind, like it is today. They hate the Most High's commandments. Come on.
Verse 9. And again, in process of time, thy broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world
Come on.
and destroyedest them.
So why is he bringing up the flood? You in the process of time, you killed everybody of that generation. You killed them off. You killed them off because they wasn't going to obey. They were spiritually dead. Verse 10. Listen up. Verse 10. Come on.
Verse 10. And it came to pass in every other that is dealt, Salaki. Verse 10. And it came to pass in every other that is death was to Adam.
Just like Adam spiritually died, it was catastrophic to the world. Read.
So was the flood to thee.
So was the flood to these. Everybody in that generation that the Most High had created, the pre-flood generation, he killed them all, dead and gone. But everybody that come out of the body of Adam, millions and billions of people, they were spiritually born dead. That was the sentence of death pronounced upon the world. The Yah spirit would not dwell with mankind. Your spirit would not dwell with mankind. Now, hope y'all understanding where we're headed, where we're going. Let's get Ezekiel, the 31st chapter. Ezekiel 31, my brothers and my sisters. We're going to start at verse 5. Because we're going to read on down. We're going to finish this chapter on out. I'm going to try to let you get through it, but I'm probably not. Ezekiel 31, verse 5.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 31, verse 5. Therefore, his height was exalted above all the trees of the field,
Mm-hmm.
and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth.
So I have to explain, this is talking about Adam. This is metaphor. This is talking about Adam, because the prophet Ezekiel was talking about the Pharaoh of Egypt and the Assyrian president, but he's Assyrian king. But he is using Adam as a similitude to show the pride of these two great kingdoms. What happened to Adam is going to happen to you, Pharaoh. What happened to Adam is what's going to happen to you, to the Assyrian king. All right? Because of their pride. But this is what happened to Adam. So Ezekiel is going through the story and he's saying, hey, this is what happened to Adam. Because he was king of the world. He was Lord of the world. Because of his pride, he fell. Verse 5 again.
Verse 5. Therefore, his height was exalted above all the trees of the field.
Where Adam was above all the trees in the Garden of Eden. He was above all the trees of the field. He was over everybody. Come on.
And his boughs were multiplied.
Mm-hmm.
And his branches became long.
His knowledge, his knowledge, he had a lot of knowledge and understanding. Come on.
Because because of the multitude of waters when he shoot forth.
When he shoot forth. When Adam spoke, he spoke with great wisdom, great understanding. The whole world came to hear what Adam was saying. Verse 6.
Verse 6. All the fowls of heaven made their nests in his boughs.
All the fowls of heaven, all of the people of the world came, all of the people of the world came to hear what Adam had to say. Come on.
Verse 6. And the fowls of the heaven made their nests in his boughs,
Come on.
and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young,
Come on.
and under his shadow dwelt all great nations.
All the great nations dwelt under the shadow of Adam. All the great nations dwelt under the shadow of Adam. They were their allegiance was to Adam. Verse 7.
Verse 7. Thus was he fair in his greatness,
Mm-hmm.
in the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters. The cedars in the garden of Yah could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs.
So these are when it's talking about these different types of trees, it's talking about the different nations of men that was around Adam. Come on.
And the chestnut trees were not like his branches. Not any tree in the garden of Yah was likened to him in his beauty.
Come on.
Verse 9. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of Yah envied him.
They envied them. So trees, you notice it's not talking about trees, it's talking about men. Because trees don't envy one another, but men do. Come on.
Verse 10. Therefore, thus saith Yah, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and he have shot up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up.
His pride was lifted. His pride was lifted up. Adam's pride was lifted up. Come on.
Verse 11. I have therefore delivered him into the hand of the mighty one of the heathen.
Come on.
He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out for his wickedness.
I've driven him out of the paradise of Yah for his wickedness. Read.
Verse 12. And the strangers, the terrible of the nations, have cut him off and have left him upon the mountains and in all the valleys. His branches are fallen. And his
branches are fallen, meaning his knowledge is fallen. He doesn't have the wisdom he once had. His branches are fallen. Come on.
And his bows are broken by all the rivers of the land.
Read.
And all the people of the earth are going down from his shadow.
They no longer listen to Adam. He's not the Lord of the world anymore. Come on.
And have left him.
And they have left him. Read.
Verse 13. Upon his ruin shall all the fowls of the heaven remain. And all the beasts of the field shall be upon his branches.
Come on.
To the end that none of all the trees by the waters exalt themselves for their height.
Come on.
Neither shoot up their top among the thick boughs.
Read.
Neither their trees stand up in their height.
Come on, watch this.
All that drink water.
All that drink water, read.
For they are all delivered unto death.
Everybody that was under Adam's authority was delivered unto death. Watch this. Watch this. Come on.
To the nether parts of the earth.
To the what?
To the nether parts of the earth.
Paradise wasn't in the nether parts of the earth. Paradise was in another plane, another atmosphere, on another level. When Adam fell, he had to get out of the garden and fall down to the nether parts of the earth. Where we at now, we reside in the nether parts of the earth. When Yahushua come back, we're going to see that other atmospheric plane. We're going to step up to the next level. Right now, we are living in the nether parts of the earth. This is not where we were supposed to be. This right here. This is why we down here struggling and trying to kill the ground and the ground is cursed. We sick, and we feel pain and we hurt. We already read it. Ain't gonna be no more pain, ain't gonna be no more sorrow, ain't gonna be no more sickness. He's gonna wipe all the tears from the eyes because we're gonna be in another level, another atmospheric plane that is not in the nether part of the earth where we are now. Come on. Read on.
In the midst of the children of men,
Mm-hmm.
with them they go down to the pit.
Keep reading.
Verse 15. Thus saith Yah, in the day when he went down to the grave,
Come on.
I caused a mourning.
I caused a mourning. Read it again. Read it again. Read it again.
In the day when he went down to the grave,
When Adam went down to the grave, come on.
I caused a mourning.
I caused a mourning. The whole earth cried, oh no, Adam fell. Oh no, what we going to do? Oh no. They couldn't feel Yah no more. The spirit left. The spirit was gone. Come on.
I covered the deep for him,
Uh-huh.
and I restrained the floods thereof,
Come on.
and the great waters were stayed.
Come on.
And I caused Lebanon to mourn for him,
Come on.
and all the trees of the field fainted for him.
Trees don't faint, men do. All of the men on earth fainted. They fell over. Oh no, it's over. Adam, what did you do? We're lost. All hope is lost. They fainted for him. Come on.
Verse 16. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall.
Read it again.
I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall.
I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall. All world government systems that was in place were out of place. The world was in chaos when Adam fell. Read.
Verse 6, verse 16.
Verse 16.
Verse 16. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall.
Come on.
I cast him down to hell.
I cast him down to hell.
With them did he descend into the pit.
Come on.
And all the trees of Eden.
Read.
The choice and best of Lebanon.
Come on.
All that drink water.
Uh-huh.
Shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth.
In the nether parts of the earth. You're not in that other atmospheric plane. You in a category of hell down here on earth, where we at now, full of sorrow and travail. This is a mind state of hell. Verse 17.
Verse 17. They also went down into hell with him. Unto them they be slain with the sword.
Mm-hmm. Wars, come on.
And they that were his honor, that dwelt under his shadow in the midst of the heathen.
Read.
To him art thou thus like in glory and in greatness among the trees of Eden.
Whom art thou thus like in glory? This is what the prophet is saying to Pharaoh and to the Syrian king. To whom art thou thus like in glory and greatness among the trees of Eden? Who are you like? Come on.
Verse 17.
Verse 18.
Oh, Salaki, verse 18. To whom art thou thus like in glory and in greatness among the trees of Eden?
Come on.
Yet shalt thou be brought down with the trees of Eden into the other parts of the earth.
Into the nether parts of the earth. Come on.
Thou shalt lie in the midst of the uncircumcised, with them that be slain by the sword. This is Pharaoh and all his multitude, saith the Most High Power.
So this is Pharaoh being compared unto Adam and the fall of Adam and his arrogance in the garden. So Pharaoh was being compared to him for Pharaoh's arrogance, just like Adam's arrogance and his fall. Now, let's get Romans. Let's get Romans, the 5th chapter of Romans. We're almost done here. Let's get Romans to 5 and begin at start at verse 12. So we understand how we fell. We understand how it happened. We understand when it happened. We understand what was going on. Now, let's see how we're going to be raised back up again. Romans the 5th chapter and the 12th verse.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 5, verse 12. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin,
and death by the sin of Adam. Come on.
And so death passed upon all men.
We all got what Adam's sentence of death. We all got it. Come on.
For that all have sinned.
We all in it because Adam is our daddy. Adam is the father of all mankind. We all fell into that category of under the sentence of death. Read.
Verse 13. For unto the law, sin was in the world.
Come on.
But sin is not imputed when there is no law.
Where there is no law. Where there is no law. He's going to tell you why. Come on, verse 14.
Verse 14.
This is why. Come on.
Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses.
So death reigned from Adam to Moses as the fall happened in Adam's time. Then the law came in Moses' time to instruct the nation of people, hey, this is how we reconcile our sin. We have to take a goat, we have to take a bullock, we have to take a turtle dove, and blood is only sin is only forgiven through the remission of sin. Blood is blotted out, or sin is blotted out through the shedding of blood. The forgiveness of sins only happen through the shedding of blood. That's why it says from Adam to Moses. Read on.
It wasn't even a law.
That was late.
Verse 14. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses. Come on, let's read. Come on, let's read.
14. Romans chapter 5, verse 14.
Come on.
Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses,
Uh-huh.
even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgressions,
At the similitude of Adam's transgression, come on,
who is the figure of him that was to come.
who is a figure. All of those turtle doves, all of those bullocks, all of those dead lambs and sheep and goats, there was only a figure of him that was coming. Of him that was coming. A figure, a similitude of him that was coming. Verse 15.
Verse 15. But not as the offense, so also is the free gift.
Come on.
For through the offense of one, many be dead.
Through the offense of one, the first Adam, many died. Come on.
Much more the grace of Yah.
Read.
And the gift by grace.
Come on.
Which is by one man.
Which is by one man, that second Adam. What's his name? Come on.
Yahawashi Hamashiach.
Yahweh. Come on.
Have abounded unto many.
Have abound unto many. That's our way out. Verse 16.
verse 16. And not as it was by one that sinned,
Come on.
so was the gift.
Mm-hmm.
For the judgment was by one to condemnation,
Mm-hmm.
but the free gift
Come on.
is of many offenses
Mm-hmm.
to justification.
The justification. 17.
Verse 17.
Read.
For by one man's offense, death reigned by one.
Death reigned by one. Read.
Much more, they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one. Yahushua HaMashiach.
All right, drop that. Let's get 1 Corinthians 15 and 22.
This is
1
the book,
Corinthians 15 and verse 20. Start at verse 21. For 21, verses 21 and 22.
this is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 21. For since by man came death,
Mm-hmm.
by man came also the resurrection of the dead.
By one man came, everybody died. One man, everybody died. One man comes a resurrection unto life. Come on.
Verse 22.
Read.
For as in Adam all die,
Uh-huh.
even so in the Messiah shall all be made alive.
All right, let's get Revelations, the 21st chapter. Let's do it. The 21st chapter, start at verse 1. We went to Revelations 21 earlier. Now let's go, and we're going to go to an earlier verse. I think we started at verse 4. Now we're going to start at verse 1 this time. Go back to verse 1. Let's see how the paradise of Yah is going to return back to earth, which is commonly called the Garden of Eden. Revelations 21 and 1.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 21 and verse 1.
Come on.
And I saw a new heaven
Mm-hmm.
and a new earth.
Come on.
For the first heaven and the first earth
Come on.
passed away.
Were passed away. That is that old world that was passed away, and we fell down into nether earth. We fell down into nether earth. Come on.
And there was no more sea.
Read.
And I, John, saw the holy city,
Come on.
New Jerusalem,
Come on.
coming down from Yah out of heaven.
Coming down from Yah out of heaven. Here come paradise. Here come that garden that was in east of Eden. Here it come. Come on.
Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Come on.
And I heard a great voice out of heaven
Come on.
saying, behold, the tabernacle of power is with men.
Because it once was with men in the garden of Eden. The tabernacle of the Most High was in the garden. Because guess what? When Adam sinned, who did you hear walking in the garden in the cool of the day? Who was taking a stroll in the garden? Yahweh taking a stroll in the garden in the cool of the day. Uh-oh, Adam sinned. Adam, you sinned? What's going on? Verse 3.
Verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of Yah is with men.
Come on.
And he will dwell with them.
Yeah, he will dwell with them. Come on.
And they shall be his people.
They shall be his people. Read.
And Yah himself shall
Come
be
on.
with them.
And Yah is going to come down in and be with us in that paradise. Come on.
And be their power.
And be our power, our great power, our great power. So the garden is coming back, brothers and sisters. Paradise is coming back, according to the scripture right here. Paradise is coming back down to where we are in nether earth. All praises to the Most High. We're going to leave it right there. We're going to leave it there. All praises.
War for the kingdom of Yah.